It's time to stop dieting. I'm dead serious. As serious as Will Smith was when he slapped Chris Rock a few years ago. You're kind of like, "Whoa, is he serious?" And yes, I'm very serious. You've got to stop dieting, especially as a woman over 40, 50, aging, your hormones are changing, you're going through perimenopause and menopause. It's really, really time to stop. Now, you might be wondering, well, I've been told to lose weight, I've got to diet on and over and over again my entire life. So then what else am I supposed to do? Because if you went through the early 2000s, 2010s diet crazes, you've tried every diet under the sun, Weight Watchers, keto, paleo, whole 30, and none of them stuck because you're watching this video. And if you went through that diet phase, you were told the only way to lose weight is to essentially starve yourself. And that is over. We're not doing that anymore. What we're doing now is completely different and is going to change the way you feel, the way you look, and the way you view yourself very quickly. What's up? My name's Tyler. I'm a certified nutrition coach and personal trainer. I do all my coaching online, and I am the creator of Revitalize, your personal fat loss and revitalization plan. Because the way I do things, and the way I do things in Revitalize, my program, is I don't just focus on the fat loss for you. It will come. But what you're wanting is the result of that fat loss to feel better, to look at yourself better, to prioritize your own health. And all of that comes within the revitalization, not the actual fat loss. Because I could have anybody lose a bunch of weight really quickly, but one, they're going to put it back on. Two, they're going to feel terrible. And three, it's not sustainable at all. And in order to kick dieting to the curb and actually take your body and heal your hormones, metabolism, brain, and gut through this revitalization, you're going to have to prioritize yourself. And if you're a mom with kids in high school, with kids in middle school, kids off to college, you've probably been prioritizing other things and other people for a very long time. And that's one of the reasons why your health has gone to the wayside. And now you're in your 40s or 50s or 60s, and you're going through these hormone changes that things feel much harder than they need to. So if you're watching this video, this is a sign. This is a sign to prioritize your health, put your health first in many, many scenarios, and make a change for you and for your family. Because if you're not at your best, if you're not at your healthiest, you can't show up for yourself. So what makes you think you can show up for your kids, for your partner, and everybody else in your life? But how do you actually revitalize? How do you actually do these things that make your life much better, happier, you're more confident, and you start to feel better and lose weight all at the same time? Now, I want to preface this first. I'm not going to go into super detail on these 5 things, but in my Facebook community where I do all kinds of live trainings and give out all my free guides, and in fact, I do giveaways and give away some cash sometimes. I talk about this in depth, and I did this 2 days ago on a live webinar. If you want access to the group, click the link in the description and I'll tag you into that live webinar whenever you join. The 5 things you're going to be looking at are just health markers. Now, some of them are a little more complicated than others, but they're things that you can track over time. The 5 are going to be sleep, hormones, hunger, energy, and gut. Now, when you're looking at these 5 things, it's important to understand where you're starting with each to get to an end goal. Let's take sleep, for example. If you are going to bed and getting 6 hours of sleep a night, you know you need more. And so that's easy to track. You're going to bed at 10 o'clock, you're waking up at 6 a.m., and you wake up a couple times a night and you're getting around 6 hours. Now, you can track it by understanding I'm waking up twice a night. I'm going to try to limit it down to 1. And once you hit that only waking up once a night, you're moving in the right direction. Or you can just start going to bed earlier, because tracking things over time is going to be really important to understanding if you're on the right path to this revitalization. But why are we going with these 5? Well, sleep is extremely important to cortisol levels, to stress, and to actually recovering in your body. And if you're not getting enough sleep, you're going to have a whole slew of issues, especially within your hormones, which is the next thing. Hormones are a little harder to track. You might need to do a blood test off and on if you have the capability to do that. But if you're working with somebody like me, like a coach who can kind of understand the signs and symptoms of, lower high estrogen, lower high testosterone, lower high cortisol, and we can see those symptoms being regulated, that's one way to track as well. We track energy because I'm assuming if you're watching this and you're ready to stop dieting and ready to revitalize, you've been really low energy for a long time. I just ran a challenge, and 16 out of the 20 women in the challenge came to me saying, I have a low energy. That's one of the big things that I'm seeing in women 40, 50, and 60. And it's very common because either you haven't been eating enough or your hormones are way off. And so you need to increase your energy in order to feel good. And so that's what we're going to do in this revitalization phase. Then we look at the gut, because the gut is shown to control so many different things. It's going to make your brain health a lot better. It's going to make your digestion a lot better, so you have better bowel movements. And so you're not holding on to a bunch of toxins and waste that's just in your body. And we look at that through if you have bloating, IBS symptoms, your bowel movements, and we can kind of track those things over time just by asking you questions on, okay, how is it this week? How is it this week? And you can kind of think about it retroactively and look at how the week was and understand if you're getting better. And then we look at hunger. And hunger is a little more nuanced person to person, because if you are under eating significantly over a long period of time, you're going to have some metabolic adaptation, which I talked about in other videos if you want to go watch those. And one of the things is you're not going to be nearly as hungry as you should, only eating 1,000, 1,200 calories a day. And so as we start increasing calories in order to revitalize your body, revitalize your metabolism, we're looking for hunger cues. Okay, we're at 1,400 calories. Are you getting hungry at dinner? Are you getting hungry at lunch? And then around 1,600 calories, you might be getting hungry around lunch and dinner. And you're like not getting hungry at night when you normally are ready to snack. And all of a sudden, you're actually hungry for breakfast for the first time in who knows how long. And these hunger cues are super important to understanding if we're on the right track. We need to back off. We need to keep pushing the calories forward. If you are already pretty hungry consistently, if you're hungry at the wrong times, then we can start tracking and see if you're getting hungry around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, how much are you eating for breakfast? Let's increase that. Does the hunger go away? And so you can track things that way to make sure that your hunger is where it should be, being, those 3 meals a day that you're consistently eating. And by breaking up with dieting and by going through a revitalization process, you're going to get what you want to get. You're going to look in the mirror and think, I love the way I look, far before you hit that number on the scale that you've put so much value on. I'm going to tell you right now, the scale might be what you really, really are striving for, but it holds zero value over you. And if you hit that number and you haven't gone through this revitalization, you're not going to be happy anyway. You're not going to feel good. So going through the revitalization is super, super important. And that's what I've put together for women over 40 going through perimenopause, menopause, hormone changes. They're stressed out, busy, have to run your kids to and from practice, to and from school. They're getting ready to go off to college, and you're stressed as heck. That's who this plan is for. And if that description doesn't fit you, it doesn't mean you shouldn't revitalize. You still should. This is just who the plan was created for. And if you want to figure out why I created it that way, you can go watch a couple of my previous videos where I talk about why I coach and who I am, because I think that will help you understand a little bit about why I do what I do. If you made it this far, I hope I changed your mind about dieting, because you've done multiple diets. Have any of them worked in the short term? Yes, but you gained the weight back, and that's why you're here. Again, you can get into my Facebook community. Click the link in the description. If you want to go watch my other videos, I have a lot of great info about the ins and outs of revitalization, the smaller details within each of those phases. You can go watch those to understand a little bit more. Hope you drop a like, hope you drop a subscription, and I hope to see you next Sunday.